Now what? All right. These are the steps we have taken during the COVID-19 pandemic to keep everybody safe. Your temperature was taken at the court at the front door, plus there's the signage. The courtroom cleaning crew cleaned this courtroom this morning so that we all had a clean courtroom to come to. Masks are mandatory, including myself. However, we've tried something this week and it's been working okay, so we're going to try it with you all as well, which is that if you are fully vaccinated, and I'm not asking for cards unless I absolutely determine in the court's interest I need to, you may remove your mask while you are seated and stationary. If you're fully vaccinated and you wish to continue wearing your mask, you may do so. There's also space to spread out, so if anybody wishes to have additional space, do that. And Mr. Taylor, I'll ask you just to give us a full head count of how many folks are here, and so that we can keep our statistical sample running. All right. Use of social distance markings, that's those blue dots. No family members are allowed in the courtroom, but we have this session streaming out to Facebook, so if anybody wants to watch what we're doing, they can. Hand sanitizer is there by the door. Every time you pass one of those, use some hand sanitizer and move through here safely. Don't talk during court. This is not so much an issue on probation days. All right, I've got a couple of people virtual. So for those of you who are virtual, do not unmute yourself until I ask you to. Go get a pen and a piece of paper to capture information that I will give you. Listen for your name, follow my directions, be patient, and turn off your camera while you're waiting. All right, cell phones. Everybody out here, pull out those cell phones from wherever you have stashed it right now, please, and turn them off. Or check to make certain you've turned it off. Everybody whose cell phone rings says to me, I thought I turned it off, and this is your opportunity to check it. I'm going to tell you that's one of my pet peeves. So I'm also just going to remind you guys that you need to either put your mask firmly on over your nose and mouth or off altogether. Halfway on and off doesn't work for me. All right, if you're here in this courtroom, you are on probation here in the Spalding County State Court, or you need an ignition interlock waiver or some other non-jury matter. If what I've said is not correct, then it does not make sense to you. There's a bailiff up here. Come speak with Mr. Taylor. We can figure out what's going on and point you in the right direction. All right, warrants are going to be issued today for the defendants who failed to come to court. If you know a defendant who is missing, call them on a break, tell them to report in person ASAP. You'll very likely save them a great deal of future trouble. So I'm about to call the calendar. If you're just a probation case, just answer here, and I know what to do with you. If you're not a probation case, though, i.e. you would need an ignition interlock device or some other non-jury matter, just tell me not probation or some other permit or ignition interlock, something that lets me know that I need to move you in a different direction. All right, y'all give me just 1 second. Okay, let's call the calendar. All right, here we go. I do have a couple of folks virtual. We'll figure those out as we go. All right, first case on the calendar, Bo Bruton. Here. All right, thank you. And you all, if you wouldn't mind standing up when you answer so I can see who is, I can attach a face to a name. Dajuan Gates. I think I got an email from the jail this morning about Dajuan Gates. That sounds really familiar. There it is. Dajuan Gates was arrested overnight last night and is in the Spalding County Jail. Okay, that is unexpected. And he was not arrested on this. He was arrested on a bench warrant on 20 SR 15. No, he was arrested on this. Okay. Ms. Matthews?
Yes, sir.
There? Okay, I got an email from court services overnight, early this morning, the jail, saying that they had arrested Dajuan Gates overnight. So I'm just letting you know that so that we can, I guess, push this off a week or so and get it scheduled from the jail. And that also means it'll probably be yours once we get it all sorted out. All right, I'm gonna mark that as reset since I don't have more information. Okay. All right, Terrence Harris. All right, that's 19 SR 657. No answer, not virtually present. I'm going to issue a warrant. Is this somebody's pen? This got left up here yesterday. It's a very
No,
nice
Judge,
pen.
I've checked it out and was testing it up there, but it wasn't mine, so I didn't take it.
Well, you all are welcome to it. So,
But I did see it in the store the other day, and I was
I
wondering
use
how it
blue pens
does.
up here, so that's the black pen. So you guys are welcome to it. So I am not going to use it. All right, Jesse Hicks resolved yesterday and his new case, so he's off today's calendar. How about Brian Horton? Is Brian Horton present? Good morning, Mr. Horton. Thank you very much. Grab a seat. Rex Kendrick?
Here, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kendrick. Sarah Knott?
I'm here.
Who? I don't see you. Oh, you're call-in user number 3. All right, Ms. Knott, you sit tight. I'm not going to hear her hearing over the phone. We'll come back to her. Brandon Chad Lewis. All right, and just to say it out loud, to Stephen Lemons at the bottom of page 1 was Miss Kara Clark Singleton, and was a reset. And that reset notice is in the jail pile right there. All right, so back to Brandon Lewis. No response. 2 cases, 20 SR 1964. That's a warrant. And then the pretrial petition is 21 TK 1289. Mr. Parker and Mr. Charles, the answer is nothing has been filed as of this moment.
I'm getting it, then I'll let you.
And that's the answer for you all as well. Nothing's been filed as of this moment. Okay. Brandon Chad Lewis, on the pretrial case, I'm issuing a pretrial diversion bench warrant. tolling the time on the program. All right, that's Louis. Jesse McMullen.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. McMullen. All right, Gavin Nicholson is virtual. I'll come back to him.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Nicholson. All right. Alicia Sharp.
Here.
All right, thank you. How do you pronounce your first name? Elijah. I knew I was wrong. I apologize. Name's important, and I got yours wrong. I apologize. Elijah. Got it. All right, Tabitha Tice.
Here.
Thank you. All right, Ward is a jail case, and he's back speaking with Mr. Malloy. Mr. Shepherd's already announced that their witness is here, and we're ready on that. Or the state's ready on that, excuse me. Westmoreland. Marshall Lee Westmoreland. All right, he's the gentleman I thought was in jail, but he's not. But now I'm issuing a warrant. All right. Done. Got it. Okay, so, let's start working our way through. Will you all please nudge me whenever Ward is ready? And I'm just gonna start working my way through these walk-ins. Ward's the priority, so as soon as that's hit, somebody stop me.
You're right. I saw Mr. Dutton just got here. Also, I know they're not calendared, but he has the issues of his motion on the Trice case
Oh, yes, and you're out of town and y'all want.
and our notice to the court on the Traywood case.
That's right, whenever the court has later.
So, so on Trice, he wasn't on the calendar, so he's not pulled.
That's right.
Okay, just want to make sure that was not a surprise to you. And Traywick is, I guess, here, maybe?
Yes, sir. I
Okay,
think I saw
Traywick's
it.
here. Okay, great. Will y'all just come up real quick and talk me through what
Sure.
type of time Yes, on record, just what we're working on, Mr. Dutton has 2 items that were added to the calendar that did not appear on the calendar. The first one was 21 TK 0908. It's Isaiah Trice. Mr. Trice is in jail. He's not on the full list, and he's not going to be pulled this morning. It's a motion to lift my bench warrant. What we worked out was an agreement that Mr. Dutton would start with the Superior Court with the new charges, try to figure out what the status is of that, and I've officially set this matter down on his motion to lift my bench warrant for June 29th at 9 a.m. I'm sorry. Yeah, everybody looked at me funny, and I knew I said something wrong, but I didn't know what was wrong about it. July 29th, thank you. July 29th at 9 a.m. Mr. Dutton has signed it, and the reset notice is here in the jail power. So that takes care of Trice for today. That's just on the motion to lift the bench warrant, or in the alternative, if it can be resolved. So the other issue is Treywick. I don't remember that case number. That's here. Mr. Dutton's going to go speak with his client out in the hallway. That's a sentencing hearing to determine whether or not she's complied with the partially entered sentence or not. My options are to sentence her according to the agreement or give her a new deadline. And that's where we ended on that. So Mr. Dutton, you may step out in the hallway and go speak with your client. If you want to go back to the jury room, you can do that as well, whatever you prefer. Don't have a preference. Yes. All right. And Treywick. Anybody know Treywick's case number off here?
I don't.
That's right. I'm pretty good at finding it.
I have it in.
Hey, I did find it. 20 SR 1150. And that is literally just a sentencing hearing. Also with Mr. Dutton. Okay. All right. Let's handle some walk-ins. Ms. Matthews, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Bo Bruton, step up to the podium, please. All right, Bo Bruton, Ms. Matthews, y'all both please raise your right hands. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, you both sworn. Mr. Bruton, you're here today on 19 SR 1233 because you're on probation with the Spalding County State Court, and your probation officers filed paperwork with me alleging that you are out of compliance with your probation. Do you understand what you're doing here today?
Yes.
You ready to go forward with your hearing?
Yes, I paid my probation off yesterday.
All right, Ms. Matthews, he is saying that he has now satisfied the terms of the revocation hearing. Can you take a look and tell me if that is still on the table?
Yes, Judge. He paid it by credit card yesterday, and we advised him if he had done it by money order, we could have removed him from the calendar. But it takes a couple of days to receive that payment. And in this situation, Judge, due to the very limited time, if that payment fails to come through, there was not enough time to reset this hearing. So we advised Mr. Bruton to appear before you today just to put an order in place in case something happens, falls through with that payment.
Perfect. And I agree with you that noticing by mail would definitely push it outside of the time left. But since I've got him standing in front of me and I can make him sign a reset notice for 1 week out, that's what we're, that should give you all time to see if that processes. Is that, am I thinking that through correctly, Ms. Matthews?
Yes, sir. We should know by tomorrow if there's going to be any issues with the payment.
Okay, that's also good because I was thinking of having him report tomorrow if you thought that would be helpful.
That sounds perfect, Judge. That way we can confirm or deny whether he needs to be there next week or not.
Okay. That's what we're gonna do then. All right, Mr. Britton, I'm resetting this matter for 1 week from today. Today is July 1st. You will appear in this courtroom on July 8th, 2021 at 9 a.m. You shall report tomorrow to probation in person between 9 a.m. and noon or 1:30 and 6. I'm going to mark here on the petition that I reset this to July 8th, 2021 at 9 a.m. If your payment goes through and your case is satisfied, then you will be released from appearing next week. Okay?
I'm coming from Atlanta.
You should have taken care of this earlier. You're the one who waited for 33 days left and are making me scramble. So I'm so sorry, but that's my decision. Okay? You had 365 days to work this out. So, all right, go sign all that. And hopefully everything works out tomorrow and you get to close your case tomorrow, Mr. Gruden. All right. All right, his case is officially reset. Terrence, nope. Brian Horton. Come on, Mr. Horton. All right, Mr. Horton, Ms. Matthews, y'all both raise your right hands. You both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do, Your Honor.
I do.
All right. Mr. Horton, you're here on 20 SR 1300 because your probation officer has filed paperwork with me alleging that you are out of compliance with your probation. You understand what you're doing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. All right, Mr. Bruden, you gotta whisper, man. You either gotta whisper, Mr. Bruden, or step out. Mr. Horton, your probation, your hearing says that you did, your petition says you missed some report dates. Did you miss some report dates?
Yes, sir. Some of those I had, I think I called maybe the Friday after, but I did receive voicemails from the office stating to call back on a certain date.
Okay, well, I appreciate you taking remedial measures. That's not lost on me. Let's talk about that. With that, you also got behind on your fines and fees and did not use community service work to get caught up. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. You have not had a previous hearing with me, according to my notes. Okay. Here we go. I've got tons of time left. Let's get you back on track. Mr. Horton, I'm going to mark that you have admitted to the violations. I'm going to have you report and test weekly until you're back in full compliance. You know what? I'm just going to have you report weekly, test as needed. I'm going to back up on that just a little bit.
Okay, so the report weekly is still the call in?
It's just until you're back in full compliance. So once you get everything back in line, then they can decide if they want to ease back on your weekly report. And whether that's in phone or in person, I don't have a preference. That's up to
Okay, well, I was gonna request that if we could go from the every other week to the weekly, because I think the every other week's actually kind of, I forget in between.
Well,
So
we humans love our routines. So I'm going to place you on zero tolerance for 60 days. What that means is in the next 60 days, if you step out of line even an inch, I'm going to take a warrant first and figure it out second. You understand that?
yes, sure.
So any violation will result in a warrant for the next 60 days. You are to report to probation in person tomorrow. That would be 7/2/2021 between 9 a.m. and noon or 1:30 and 6. After that, I have no preference whether they keep you on in-person report or phone. That's completely up to probation. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, get your case back in line. Ms. Matthews, anything else from me on this matter?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, sign your paperwork. Head over there to the side so I can call the next person. Miss Matthews on Gates. Do you want me to send a reset notice out to the jail and amend this petition for a new court date?
Judge, I think I'm gonna have to look into the situation. I don't quite know what's got him there, so there may be other actions that you may need to take
That is
to
a
satisfy
reasonable.
his situation. So I think, I mean, I could look at it really quickly if you'd like for me to.
No, I mean, he's in the jail. We have space to figure it out. So, all right, well, then I'm just going to mark this. I'm actually, instead of reset, I'm going to mark J21 Gates as just off because he was picked up and we don't know what's going on. So, okay, that's off my list of things to worry about. All right, and that's Ms. Horton. Rex Kendrick, come on up. Good morning, Mr. Kendrick, Ms. Matthews. Y'all both please raise your right hands. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, grab that boom mic, pull it towards you. Don't move all around. State your full name for the court reporter.
Rex Kelvin Kendrick.
Mr. Kendrick, your case is 19 SR 527. You're here today because your probation officers filed paperwork with me alleging you are out of compliance with your probation. You understand what you're doing here today?
Yes, sir.
You ready to go forward with your hearing?
Yes, sir.
Petition here says you missed some appointments with your probation officer. Did you miss some appointments?
Yes, sir.
Did you fail to complete your court-ordered community service work or show proof of that completion?
Yes, sir.
And did you catch a new suspended license charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna find with your admissions that there's enough being found that you willfully violated your probation. Ms. Matthews, are there any consecutive cases or anything else other than the 115 days left to have?
Judge, he has a concurrent case running with the Municipal Court of Griffin, but other than that, that's the only other case he has right now.
All right, thank you for that. Mr. Kendrick, anything else you want me to know before I make my decision on your case?
Yes, sir. It is. The only reason I drive, sir, is because my brother was announced on life support.
Lean into the mic.
My brother was put on life support,
I'm very sorry.
and I had to go, man. I mean, my whole family was there. They called the family in, and I just called, man. And I stopped.
Is your brother, did he pass or is he okay?
Yes, sir. Thank God.
He's okay.
My sister fell the same day and broke her arm. I just had a family to on.
All right. All right, Mr. Kendrick, here's what we're gonna do. I got 115 days left, so I've got a little bit of space here. And you've actually done reasonably well on probation. So, here's what we're gonna do. I am going to, order you to report weekly, until your case is in full compliance. I'm placing you on zero tolerance
Yes, sir.
for the, oh wait, this is a non-report case. So I'm gonna put that you are to report weekly until, you qualify for non-report status.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna put that you're on zero tolerance until you qualify for non-report status.
Yes, sir.
Can you get your Georgia driver's license back?
I don't know, sir.
Well, we're gonna
I don't have
find
mine
out.
right now.
I'm gonna put, get your Georgia driver's license, within 45 days.
Yes, sir.
Probation will tell you what your options are if you can't get your license back.
Yes, sir.
Your next report date is going to be tomorrow in person.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow is 7/2/21. You're going to report between 9 a.m. and noon or 1:30 and 6.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Matthews, do you need anything else from me on this matter?
No, sir, just to confirm, you said zero tolerance until it goes into non-report status?
That's correct. So that I'm not addressing your community service work because they're going to address that with you tomorrow. They're going to figure out how many you got left. and they're gonna give you what you've got to complete. But I will put on here that it is no less than, Ms. Matthews, would 8 hours a week be about right, or do I need to do more?
Sir, can I say something, sir?
As soon as she answers the question. All right. I mean, I guess if he starts converting his fine to community service work, that'll change that number.
Judge, this is a fine conversion on this case.
Oh, okay.
Judge,
All right. What do you need me to know, Mr. Kendrick?
how much my fine is, just on the chart, on the.
783.25 is what it shows.
If I can catch all of that up today,
It would certainly help. Your case is qualified for no report. You just gotta get your boxes checked. So I'm gonna make it 16 hours per week of community service work for the fine, or however that works out. You'll work those details out with probation tomorrow.
yes, sir.
All right, then go sign this. Bailiff will give you a copy before you leave, over there by the door.
Thank you.
I assume Mr. Malloy is still talking to Mr. Ward. Okay, he's about what I expected. All right. Let's keep moving. Jesse McMullen. Wait a minute. Hold on, this. Yeah, Jesse McMullen, come on up. Do y'all have trailer in the file? Because I remember I signed the sentencing sheet, and I'd like to use that one. So,
Don't think I've got our court file, Judge.
yeah, again, the case is 20 SR 50.
Yeah.
So if you all, now that Mr. Dutton's back, if you all will grab that file, I'll fold that in quickly. Good morning, Mr. McMullen.
Good morning.
If you and Ms. Matthews will both please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, you're both sworn. Mr. McMullen, you have 2 cases on the calendar today. You have, actually, let me mark this off. Let me just see. All right, top of page, the middle of page 2. You have 19 SR 728 and 19 SR 711. You're here today because your probation officers filed paperwork with me alleging that you are out of compliance with your probation. Do you understand what you're doing here?
Yes, sir.
You ready to go forward with your hearing?
Yes, sir.
Did you fail to pay your fines and fees or do community service work?
No, I paid my fine, fees, community service. I've been working on the weekend, and I stay by myself, and
Are you behind on those?
not that much.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes. Have you finished the family violence intervention program?
No, so I called him, and he never got back in touch with me. I was doing it, but
You're saying you've completed it?
no, I was doing it when my probation officer told me, he said that I need to go do a DUI class first. I had to start paying on family violence things. I had to stop it.
How about the substance abuse evaluation?
No, I ain't got started on it yet.
Okay. All right, Ms. McMullen, anything else you want me, did you test positive for cocaine on June 11th, 2021?
Yes, I had all the medication I was taking. I had gotten down on my foot for about 2 weeks, and I got on my job I got bit by some ticks and stuff.
So you're telling me that's a false positive from a prescription?
Yeah, what I got right here.
Okay. All right, Ms. Matthews, I've got plenty to move on that one without scheduling a contested hearing on that last allegation. I'm removing 5 from 19 SR 728, and I'm removing 3 from 19 SR 711, as they are the same allegation. All right, I'm gonna find with the remaining allegations that there is enough for me to find that you willfully violated your probation? Anything else you want me to know, Mr. McMullen?
No, sir.
Here we go. Mr. McMullen, you are to report and test weekly until your case is closed. You are in-person reporting only. You may not get a phone report. I've noted that. You are on zero tolerance on both cases until your case is closed. So for the next 223 days, if you step out of line at all, I'm going to issue a warrant first, and I'm gonna figure it out second. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your next report date will be tomorrow. July 2nd, 2021, between 9 a.m. and noon, or 1:30 and 6 p.m. You are to provide within 10 days a letter from your doctor explaining why you have a false positive. Let's have your doctor put their reputation where your mouth is. You are to complete no less than 16 hours of community service work per week. You're to do a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days. You are to begin family violence intervention program within 30 days. You are to complete DUI school within 30 days. I'm doing these all in 30 days because that makes it very easy for you to remember that everything you must do must be completed within 30 days, other than the family violence program, which must be started within 30 days. The family violence program must be completed without interruption. Mr. McMullen, you have serious cases, you are severely out of compliance, and you're either going to get it into compliance or I'm just going to revoke your case. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
This whole you called somebody and they didn't call you back is a profoundly unacceptable answer that I will not accept in the future. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And just to be very clear, Ms. Matthews, if he has any other positive screens that do not instantly and fully match up with a prescription that he has provided to you, that's a warrant. All right, that's it. All right, step over to the wall there, and they'll bring you your paperwork. All right, Mr. Malloy is back out here, which means, tell me where we're at, Mr. Malloy.
Yes, Judge, we're going ready for the hearing on the school.
You ready, Mr. Parker or Mr. Shepherd?
Yes, good, we're ready.
All right. Holder, if you'll put Mr. Ward up to the, I think that is him. All right, I'm gonna turn this so I can see everybody. That's interesting. Power was loose. pulled it around too much, finally worked itself loose. Okay. This hearing is gonna take a bit, isn't it?
Judge, I mean, my side of it shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. Really, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I believe Ms. Daniel will testify in maybe 5 minutes of me talking.
Mr. Malloy, how long do you anticipate this hearing taking?
At least a half an hour, Judge.
Okay, let's actually just sentence Treywick, because that'll get Mr. Dutton out the door, and then we'll do Ward next. Bring your client, William, please. Ward, don't go anywhere, you just stand right there.
Okay. All right. Damn.
So, Mr. Ward, I would kindly ask you not to use profanity while you are live in my courtroom.
Yes, sir.
Such actions will result in an immediate contempt hearing, can carry up to 20 days to serve in the Spalding County Jail. So even if you secure release today, I could sentence you to 20 extra days for cussing in my courtroom. Do you understand me?
I do. Yes, sir. And my
We
apologies.
had-
Did I do so?
Yes, I heard you. So I just strongly suggest that you be quiet, okay?
Okay.
And for the record, I know what I heard. Ms. Treywick, Mr. Dutton, we're gonna go on record with 20 SR 1150. This is a notice from the state of Georgia through the solicitor's office, signed by Mr. Parker. And this was one of our test cases that we have tried where we did a sentencing, or we did a plea. She agreed not to withdraw the sentence. And in return, I withheld final sentencing for her to complete certain conditions as a pretrial diversion test case. Am I correct on that, Mr. Parker?
You are, Your Honor, and we would just add that, as I noted in my notice to the court there, what we have now is a situation of, well, the way I analyzed it was under a contract analysis, and if we stick with that analogy, we have an impossibility to perform now because Judge Essery in the State Accountability Court has signaled that Ms. Treywick will not be allowed to enter that program. And at this point, Your Honor, I'm no longer willing to sign off on that either.
Okay.
Unless I hear something compelling from her side, but I don't think that I'm going to.
All right, and for record purposes, Mr. Dutton is present with his client. Mr. Dutton, fill me in on what's gone on here.
Your Honor, that's the first I've heard about the accountability court. I was still in the impression that she was going to go there. That said, she has reached out to several different inpatient facilities. I've spoken to several that have called my office to get the details on the case. From the ones I've spoken to, they've all allowed her to come in, but it's the funding that's the issue. Because she hasn't used recently, insurance won't pay for her to go to a rehab. The insurance literally has said, well, if she uses again, then we'll pay for her.
Like a detox kind of thing.
That's right. They can do outpatient type care, but they won't pay for inpatient because she hasn't used recently enough, and which seems an odd, perverted incentive, but that is what it is. We understand the choices between the court here, and no one can be more frustrated than we are, and Ms. Treywick is, about the odd situation, the catch-22 that we're in. We need help, but we can only get help if we get worse. So we understand the choices before the court. We would only ask that if the court isn't inclined to give us more time, given what we just heard from the state, that seems unlikely based on the fact that it's a twofer, that there would be a stabilization at in-house facility followed by the Veterans Court, which apparently she's no longer eligible for. That said, if the court is inclined to take her into custody, we would ask that she be allowed to turn herself in tomorrow. That way she can get her young child situated and stabilized before she goes in.
Okay. All right. So the way we did this, just to put on record, since this is not part of our normal habits and patterns, is that I have a negotiated plea agreement. That negotiated plea agreement was reduced to the sentencing sheet. and was placed on here, with Mr. Dutton and Mr. Parker signing off on it. I took the plea on May 18th of 2021. She had until, June 15th to enter the program. Otherwise, I directed the solicitor's office to file a notice to impose sentence, which they did, which we're here. And so it didn't make the calendar, but I think that's going to be an easy issue to resolve procedurally moving forward. I'm going to meet in the middle. I am going to execute the sentence, but I'm not going to have her taken into custody. I would like her to continue as part now of the sentence I'm about to give her, working on finding a treatment facility. So that's now going to become part of the conditions of her probation, which means if she doesn't do it at that point, then she will then be subject to a revocation hearing with me. Obviously, she'll have due process, we'll have a hearing, and I'll determine good faith efforts. If she's unable to do it, we'll do a walk-in at that point.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Mr. Parker, anything else before I sentence?
Your Honor, if we could get Ms. Trewick on the record to tell us, or Mr. Dutton on her behalf, of course, all of the programs that she has entered and been rejected from, because
Yeah, Ms. Matthews, I think, needs that as well.
She'll need that.
She's nodding at me.
yes, sir, to enforce the condition that she's at least trying. I know they're gonna give her some leeway to try, but that also requires honesty on her part. We need to know which facility she's tried.
Yes, I tried Black Bear Lodge, I've tried McIntosh Trails, which is,
Slower.
oh, sorry.
We're writing, we're all writing.
Sorry. I've tried, Black Bear Lodge, which is a federally funded facility. I've also tried McIntosh Trails, which is Pine Woods, located here in Griffin. I've also tried River Woods, and I was getting accepted into the outpatient program, but they literally did not do anything the whole time we sat there and waited. So I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if I'm having an issue with my insurance, but from what I've been told, I cannot get in because of how long it's been since my last date of use.
Your Honor, there was another that I've spoken to that called us in reference to her case. It wasn't Black Bear Lodge, but I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. I apologize.
Also, the lady at Accountability Court,
Ms. Heffernan.
yes, she contacted McIntosh Trails in Barnesville too, and we never got a call back.
Okay.
So there's other people that are making efforts too, and for some reason, I'm just having bad luck.
And Your Honor, just for Ms. Matthews' benefit, if she communicates with Ms. Heffron at the accountability court, the report we got from Ms. Heffron was there was actually a program, a line that would take Ms. Trewick as well as her 5-year-old, her child with her, which was an issue introduced after we put the plea on the record that we were not aware of at the time. And that program was a go. It was a green light, and I don't know what happened there, but it seemed that there was a failure to follow through.
Your Honor, that was the program that was also going to take her and her child is the one that I spoke with, and they had accepted her, but they weren't a free program, and it would require insurance to pay for, and that's what we spoke about was insurance would only pay for it, again, according to them, if she had used recently, and since she hasn't used,
Right.
I believe it's been several months since she's used anything at all, the insurance wouldn't pay for it, and so that's, even though it was a go from the rehab facility, they couldn't.
Okay.
And again, Judge, Ms. Matthews, that's just for you to check up on, because it was our understanding that program was going to be no cost to Ms. Trewick, and certainly reasonable minds can differ and even misunderstand. So maybe I misunderstood, or perhaps Ms. Trewick did, but I believe that to be a program that was going to be free of charge to her. So it seemed like a 100% possibility that she could go into that program if she wanted, from our perspective, and I realize that could be wrong. But please confirm that with Ms. Heffron, because that could be a potential solution to this issue.
All right, I got it. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. Madison Trewick, you have, the plea was entered on May 18th of 2021. We got to the point where I would issue the sentence. I withheld sentencing in an effort to allow you to go into treatment and the accountability court. That did not work, so here's where we're at. As to 20 SR 1150, I'm executing the plea and I'm finding you guilty of DUI per se, which is count 2. That's 12 months of probation, a fine of $1,696.25. That can be worked off with community service work at a rate of $10 per hour if you wish, or paid, or any combination of both. As to count 2, as to count 1, that merges and that's off the table. 12 months total probation. I've removed the 30-day inpatient, but I've changed it down here at the bottom, so follow me to the end of the sentence. It's 40 hours of community service work, a rate of 4 hours per week. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, no hemp products, and you will be tested for those. You are to complete a substance abuse evaluation. I'm going to say to that within 30 days. 30. Within 45 days, you shall complete DUI school. And of course, I think the substance abuse evaluation will call the substance abuse program, so those two are tied together. You shall enter an in-house treatment facility for 12 months within 60 days of today's date. So I'm resetting you for 60 days. You are to complete your efforts with all of your abilities. You're to be tested weekly. You are to report weekly and test weekly for drugs and alcohol.
Your Honor, if her evaluation calls for something different than 12 months in-house, if
And
it
of
calls
course, I'll
for...
reconsider that,
Okay.
absolutely. I just don't know what to do, so I'm issuing the most conservative, careful sentence I can. So, but I really want to see the results of that substance abuse evaluation. No early termination, of course. And Ms. Matthews, she is to report weekly and to be tested weekly. So, Ms. Matthews, when would you like me to have her first report date, since y'all are not in the building?
Judge, if you'd like to do tomorrow, I could accommodate tomorrow, or any day next week, we could do an orientation.
I think tomorrow for a first drug test is a great way for us all to start this out. Let's make sure she's clean. So in person tomorrow, that would be 7/2. You want me to sign her a specific time since it's an orientation, or the general range?
No, sir, it can be any time tomorrow, and I'll just see her like a first appointment and do everything all together. The question I didn't quite follow Mr. Dutton at the end, when he asked about the substance abuse evaluation, if the recommendation of that was something different than inpatient treatment. I lost y'all there.
Then we would have a modification hearing. So where I would consider all the options, and then I would just issue an order modifying it if that was deemed appropriate. Okay, that's the sense of the court. You have 30 days from today if you want to appeal my decision. You have 12 months from today if you want to use your habeas rights. Before you leave, you are to fill out this probation acknowledgement form and give it back to me. Ms. Treywick, I still very much want you to continue seeking a life of sobriety, and I hope that although this isn't the first choice for you, you'll continue those efforts.
Thank you.
Mr. Dutton, anything else?
Your Honor, if I could just take a scan of the sentencing sheet.
I'm about to hand you the whole thing and have her fill this out, and then once you're finished with it, you'll get copies of it and give it back to her. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
and you can take her back to the jury if you want, or anywhere. Just give me this whole thing. All right, that was it. What was the first run of that? Procedure worked. All right, Mr. Ward.
Give me,
Mr. Ward.
Where's when you get back?
Come on, Jake, look at me.
You ready?
Thank you. All right,
Yeah, we can.
there we go. All right, there we go. Mr. Ward.
Yeah, just give me an okay. We ain't no hurry.
All right, there we go. Mr. Ward, I'm sending you an unmute request. It's in the middle of your screen. Click on the green approve button, and then you'll be live.
Okay, you got me?
I got you.
All
Excellent.
right.
All right, this is the probation matter of the state of Georgia versus Michael Ward. Mr. Ward, you are virtual, and if I set up the cameras correctly, you can see me here, and you can see both Mr. Patrick Shepard for the state and Mr. Malloy seated at the tables. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I see the probation officer. I see you on one screen, and I see the courtroom with two gentlemen in the courtroom, the lawyer
All right.
and the
Yeah, the gentleman on the left is Mr. Malloy, and that's your attorney, and the gentleman on the right is Mr. Shepherd, he's the Solicitor General. Is it okay? I'm gonna swear you in. You ready, Mr. Ward and Ms. Matthews?
Yes, I'm ready.
Do you all both swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, you both sworn. Mr. Ward, you are here on 3 cases. Just 3 or is it all 5? No, it's all 5. 20 SR 1287, 19 TK 5827, 20 SR 1768. Actually, that's all I have. I don't have the other 2.
20 SR 1771. Did you get that one?
Judge Thacker, that's a consecutive case. I spoke with Mr. Shepherd and Mr. Malloy, I think was present, and they want to address that one as well. I wasn't prepared. I advised them that if you wanted to address it verbally, I would prepare a modification order afterwards and have you sign it this afternoon for that case.
Okay, we'll just address those if we can reach a consent on that. So it won't be a contested hearing. And this is something I've just directed probation to start doing for the first time, maybe like, I don't know, 30 days ago. Before Mr. Ward's case started getting tangled up in all this, is when we have a consecutive case, please go ahead and file on the consecutive as well. That way we have the whole thing.
Because I didn't have a file on the consecutive case either, Judge, so I
And
don't
that's-
even know what the conditions are.
That's exactly right. So, is this, Mr. Malloy going to, let me ask Mr. Ward my final questions. Mr. Ward, is it okay with you that we're having this hearing over this video conference system?
Yes.
And,
Yes,
have you had enough time to speak with Mr. Malloy about your cases?
I did.
Are you satisfied with the job he's done on your behalf?
I am. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Ward, this is the spot where you go quiet and I'll talk to the lawyers for a minute. Mr.
Absolutely.
Malloy, as to the 3 petitions that are on the table, are these going to be admissions or denials?
A little of both, Judge.
All
In
right,
terms of, as far as some of the technicals, like the arrearage of the fines and fees,
all right.
he will admit to that. I would have to say denial on missing of appointments. His
Okay,
take is a little bit different.
all right, well, so the only admission I'm hearing is on 20 SR 1768, which is, actually, it's just missing the appointments of the new charges. That's all
That's the 3.
that's all I've got. So, okay, well then those are denials, and if I'm seeing that right, then we're good to go for a hearing.
Well, Judge, can I address it in the
course.
consecutive case, since that one seems to be, because I understand the state's position is they want to include that in the court's consideration today.
It would simply be by consent, so that you're in the driver's seat on that question because it's not on the table.
Okay. Well, we want consent to that.
No, and that's fine, that's perfectly acceptable. So, like I said, this was something I identified from this case where I realized, not this case, sorry, about the time this case hit. And realized that this was easier if we could do all the cases in one pass. And I wasn't sure initially if I had the authority to address consecutive cases, but I found the authority that said I do, and that's when I gave probation the green light, only just a couple weeks ago. Okay, well, let's deal with these 3 then. So, Mr. Shepherd, the allegations on the table are that he missed appointments, 3 of 4, and that he has new offenses, has committed new offenses. So, the burden is on you, burden preponderance of the evidence. Floor is yours.
Yes. All right, so Judge, just a little background on this. On January 21st of this year, Mr. Ward, he was incarcerated at the time on bench warrants, I believe. And he agreed he was going to plead guilty to 5 different cases. 20 SR 1336 was a violation of a family violence order. That involved Ms. Ashley Daniel. That was a time served as part of the agreement on it. 20 SR 1287 was a suspended license case. 20 SR 1768 was another violation of a family violence order that also involved Ashley Daniel. Those two, 1287 and 1768, were to run concurrent for 12 months, and he was to have no contact with Ashley Daniel during that. He also pled guilty to the consecutive case that you just alluded to, just to make sure the court's aware of what that case was. That's 20 SR 1771. That was another violation of a family violence order involving Ashley Daniel. So we've had numerous instances of domestic violence and Mr. Ward refusing to abide by bond conditions or probation conditions involving contact with Ms. Daniel. The new charges that he got was on March 31st of this year. He was arrested on a battery family violence involving Ms. Daniel, and also another charge of violating the family violence order. So Mr. Ward has shown on numerous occasions that he is not going to abide by this court's terms and conditions of probation or bond conditions. If the court will remember, we were here in May, the first time when I had initially set this matter down for a hearing on the probation revocation. Mr. Ward asked for an attorney at that time, and so the court did continue the case. However, prior to that, Mr. Ward admitted on the record, and I asked the court reporter to prepare a transcript for that, admitted to contacting Ms. Daniel. So Mr. Ward has already admitted to violating the special conditions of his probation. Ms. Matthews will testify in a few minutes that he's missed 3 out of 4 appointments, only reporting once, and then Ms. Daniel's here to testify as to what happened on that March 31st incident, and Ms. Daniels also has some, she wants the court to be aware of what she wants going forward with this case involving Mr. Ward.
Okay.
So our first.
Well, do you need to address anything, Mr. Malloy, before he calls his first witness?
No, thank
Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure we got all that good. All right, Ms. Shepherd, the floor is yours.
All right, we'll call Marty Matthews.
Yes, sir.
Is she already sworn in?
She is.
Okay. All right, Ms. Matthews, you remember you're under oath, correct?
Yes, Judge. Yes, sir.
All right, can you state your name?
Marty Matthews.
And how are you employed?
I'm employed. I'm the Chief Probation Officer of JAG Probation in Griffin.
And is Mr. Michael Ward on probation with JAG Probation?
Yes, sir.
And when was he placed on probation?
He was sentenced on probation on January the 28th of 2021 for case number 20 SR 1287, 20 SR 1768, 19 TK 5827, and a consecutive case of 20 SR 1771.
Okay, so the 3 concurrent cases, how long was he on probation for those 3 cases?
As of today, he's actively been on for 152 days, but of that 152, 70 of that has been served in the jail on these matters because the court dates have been reset so many times.
And the initial term of that probation was at 12 months?
Yes.
Okay. And were there any special conditions placed on his probation?
He has a special condition on 20 SR 1768 that he can have no contact with Ashley Daniel except for her children.
Okay. And you filed a motion to revoke his probation?
Yes.
And what's the basis for that probation revocation?
Mr. Ward is only reported one time while being on active probation, and then he's received the new charges back in March with the same victim that violates the condition of his cases.
And when was Mr. Ward supposed to begin reporting to probation?
His first report date after being sentenced was on February the 12th, and that is the only appointment that he actually made.
Did Mr. Ward make any effort to report after February the 12th that you're aware of?
No, sir. He did call me one time back, I believe it was in the month of March, wanting to have contact with Miss Daniel. It wasn't in reference to reporting. And I advised him that he is to have no contact with her based off the court's order. I did instruct him that he would need to get in touch with solicitor's office and the victim's advocate and discuss that condition with them. They would be the ones that would be able to make a modification to his case that probation wasn't.
Okay. How many appointments did Mr. Ward have scheduled with probation?
Well, we went through the whole process by the state. He has to have 2 missed appointments, 2 phone calls, and we have to send him a letter. We went through that entire process and actually told the time on his case effective around April 15th. So he missed 3 appointments and did not respond to that letter all consecutively. Therefore, the judge signed a warrant tolling the time on the case, and the time actually stopped. And so we weren't requiring him to report after April 15th.
Okay, so he would have had 4 scheduled appointments then, in the 3 he missed plus the February 12th appointment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so missed 3 out of the 4. And your petition alleges that he's failed to obey the laws of Georgia. What's the basis for that?
So basically, while anybody's on probation, if they receive a new, technically the law states even a citation or an arrestable offense, that's a violation of their probation. And anyone that's sentenced to probation, once for Judge Thacker's court, on the back of his disposition, those general conditions are listed. So every defendant receives a copy of that once they're placed on probation. Once he was arrested on our violation of probations, I noticed at that point, that's when they also added new charges. I went to the portal, pulled the warrants from those, and they actually had an offense date of, I believe it was March 31st, if I recall correctly. I may be off on that date. We just weren't aware of that at the time when we presented Judge Thacker with the warrants on April 15th. I assume he wasn't arrested on the date the offense occurred.
But your petition alleges that he failed to obey the laws of Georgia. So what specifically was it that he did?
That he committed the new charge of battery, family violence, and then violated the family violence order.
And your petition also says that he violated a special condition of his probation. What was that special condition?
The special condition was he was to have no contact with Ashley Daniel, and Miss Ashley Daniel was the victim of his new battery charge that he received.
Okay. And Ms. Matthews, how much time does Mr. Ward have remaining on probation for the 3 concurrent cases we're talking about right now?
As of today, he has 213 days remaining.
And what would be your recommendation for the resolution of this revocation?
For the safety of Miss Daniel, my recommendation would be revoke the balance in full. I would fear that if Mr. Ward was to get back on the streets, I don't think he's going to come see us and comply. And then I'd be afraid that Miss Daniel would possibly be at the risk of being attacked again.
That's all I have.
All right, Cross?
Ms. Matthews, just a couple of questions. When you said Mr. Ward came to his first appointment in February, is that correct?
Let me verify if he called, because I feel like in February we were still doing phone reports. Bear with me one moment. Yes, that was a phone report on February the 12th. He didn't actually come to the office.
Okay. So
I was instructed to call.
Mr. Ward, this is something that you and I have had to do every time you come in. You talk out of turn, you interrupt whoever's talking, usually it's me. So I'm either gonna mute you and you can just listen quietly by being muted, or you can exercise your discretion and follow my directions to be quiet.
Okay.
Do I need to mute you, Mr. Ward, or are you gonna be
No.
quiet in this hearing?
I'm being quiet. I was thinking out loud. Excuse me.
Okay, well, don't think out loud. Mr. Malloy, I apologize for the interruption. You may continue your cross-examination.
So then, Mr. Ward, would it be inaccurate if he stated to me that he was phone reporting at this time, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
And so then he did make one phone call himself to your office and tried to speak with you about his case to some extent.
He did. It was not on a report date, so if anyone calls during the week, we still take phone calls, but there's special days cut out during the week especially for reporting, and it wasn't on a report date.
And then the other times, he knew of the exact dates he was to continue to phone report?
Yes, sir. Once they miss, at the first one, there's an automated call that goes out to advise them of their next report date. And then when he missed his second appointment, we actually called him personally ourselves. We weren't unable to get in touch with him, so we sent an email the same date. And then when he missed the third report, we sent him a letter in the mail advising him of his next report date, and he didn't report then either.
Understand. Yeah, that's all the questions I have, Ms. Matthews, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Shepherd, any redirect?
No, sir.
All right. You may call your next witness.
Instead of call Ashley Daniel.
Ms. Daniel, if you will come on up to the podium here. And, sorry, this way.
Before you sit down, if you'll raise, let me swear you in. Okay, you need to.
All right, Ms. Daniel, come on up here. I'm gonna change the video so that Mr. Ward can see. Give me just a quick second. All right, let's see if that works. Yeah, there we go.
You good, Judge? All right. You swear the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Daniel, Ms. Leach here in front of you is the court reporter, and she's taking down what you say. So if you slide that microphone over to you so everybody can hear you.
And
Okay?
is there a green light on top of that microphone?
Yes, sir, it's on.
Okay.
All right, can you state your name?
Ashley Daniel,
And Ms. Daniel, how old are you?
32.
And have you been in a relationship with Mr. Michael Ward?
Yes,
All right, boyfriend and girlfriend, is that fair to call it that? Okay. For how long?
7 years.
Okay. Do y'all have children together?
We have 2 sons.
All right, how old are they?
They're a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Do your sons live with you?
Yes,
And on March 31st of this year, were you involved in an incident with Mr. Ward?
yes.
All right, and were the two of you arguing that day?
I just got off work, I picked him up from work, and, when I picked him up, he was intoxicated and seemed to be using, meth during that time. He was paranoid that their radio was saying things. When we got home, he asked me to give him a ride, so when I got home, I let him, he got out of the car, so I sat in the car for a little bit, and then for things to calm down, and then when I went inside, he accused me of doing something on my Facebook and giving it to me.
Okay, and you say you got home, where's home? What's your address?
I don't, it's,
Is it
like,
1185 School Road?
Yes.
Okay. Is that, y'all live in Spalding County?
yes,
So you say you were arguing over Facebook initially,
yes,
and then you said he hit you?
yes, he popped me in the face.
How did he hit you?
With the back of his hand.
With the back of his hand? Were you injured? Or any,
Yes, my nostrils, both my nostrils were bleeding.
yes, you got a bloody nose out of it?
Mhm.
All right, and was that at your house?
Yes,
Had Mr. Ward been living there?
yes,
I'm muting Mr. Ward. I can either have a contempt hearing or I can just exercise my
Thank you,
authority
Your Honor.
to mute him, and
Thank
I'm
you.
just gonna take the path of least resistance. Mr. Ward, you are muted.
Okay, so Ms. Daniel, before March 31st of this year, when he hit you in the face, had Mr. Ward been living in your house with you?
yes,
Okay, how long had he been living there?
since he was released.
And he was released in January, is that right? Okay. And since that date, on March 31st, that day after he hit you, did you call the police?
Yes,
Okay, why did you call the police?
because I had my sons there, and he popped me in the nose, and I wasn't gonna be hit that way with my children.
Has that happened in the past?
Yes,
How many times has he been violent in the past with you? Have you called the police every time?
No.
And you said you believed he was high on meth.
yes,
Has he had issues of drug abuse in the past?
yes.
Okay, so how do you know that?
When I first met him, that's when I started using. I've been sober for 6 years. I got sober. He hasn't. He's admitted to me that he uses, and his whole family uses drugs, and the people he works with, and, so whenever he goes around them, that's him.
Now, Ms. Daniel, you said that he was living with you, so did you voluntarily let him come back to live with you?
Yes.
Okay, why did you do that?
Because of our sons, and he told me when he was in jail that he would do better, that he would stay sober.
And you believed him? Has he told you that before?
Several times.
Now, Ms. Daniel, what do you want to happen with Mr. Ward?
I just want him to get help.
What do you mean by help?
I don't really know, because I've tried to help him. I've called rehabs and stuff like that. I don't know if he really wants the help. He doesn't want the help. He's never gonna change. And if his family uses drugs, it's kind of hard to get anyone to, know what you're doing.
So are you the only one that's really trying on this?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
When he's when he's high or top speed, yes.
All right, that's all the questions I have for you right this second. They got the tissue for you.
All right, take a deep breath. Deep breath. As soon as you take it, about 3 big deep breaths, Mr. Malloy may have some questions that he wants to ask you, okay?
And y'all, I'm gonna move to the podium because I can't see her with the screen there in front of me. So her face is totally blocked. Ms. Daniels, I'm Terrence Malloy, I'm Mr. Ward's attorney for this hearing. So on this day in March, you were aware that he was not, according to the court sentence, he was not supposed to be in contact with you, is that correct?
No.
You didn't know that at all?
He did not tell me that. That's what Michael told me. He told me there was no violent contact.
Were you contacted by the solicitor's office after he was sentenced in those cases in January, the outcome of those cases, and that he was not to have any contact with you?
If I was, I never called him back. Because I worked on him.
You said that this argument on the 31st commenced because of a Facebook post of yours, is that correct?
It wasn't a post. He went on my Facebook. He assumed I was talking to someone in the car.
So it wasn't,
No, when I picked him up, he was already acting crazy.
it wasn't in regards to some text message that he showed you where you were upset because you thought he was talking to another woman?
No, it's because my relationship status did not show me.
So he told me that and he just made that up.
I'm sorry. I said I'm sure.
Lean into that mic. It gets really loud when you get close. Pull it forward towards you.
And if I were to ask you that what actually happened was he's slapping his phone out of your hand again because you were upset because of text messages you saw for him from another woman.
Actually, it was my cell phone that was in my hand when I walked into the door. And he hit me in the back of his hand, not my phone. My phone was still in my hand when I fell into the floor.
And after he hit you, what did you do at that point?
I called 911.
Okay.
He saw I was on the phone with the police, and he took off.
That's all the questions I have, Judge.
All right. Ms. Shepherd, any redirect?
Just one, Stan, you said he left after you called the police?
Yeah, he saw that I was on the phone with the police, and he took off.
Okay. Did he know? Did you say I'm calling 911?
And he saw me on the phone.
No, did you? And has he contacted you since then?
Yes,
How has he contacted you since then?
he's contacted me through the jail, other inmates.
Okay, and what does he say when he contacts you?
1 minute he loves me, 1 minute he cares about me and the kids. He wants to do better, go to rehab, and then the next minute it'll be different.
What's different? What do you mean by different?
He can be very abusive, blaming me, or asking me for money.
So what has he specifically said to you since he's been in jail?
What does he specifically
You
say?
said he's blaming you. What has he said to blame you?
That he can just blame it. He always blames me. He blames me that he's in jail, that I called the cops.
Okay. And how many times is he calling you, or is he?
He's not calling me anymore. I already took care of that. But
How was he contacting you?
he's contacted me through his father as well. His father would be very verbally abusive toward me.
Has he called you from jail?
Not anymore, but he has, yes.
Okay, so since he was arrested on this latest charge, he has called you from the jail?
Yes, and he told me to tell y'all that he accidentally hit me.
That's all I got. Thank
I'm
you.
just gonna let you read the cross.
So is your testimony here that Mr. Ward's the one reaching out to you and not the other way around, that you're the one initiating contact with him?
I have initiated contact with him about our son.
So the only topic you're telling this court today that you want this court to believe the only topic you contact him about is your sons.
We talk about our relationship too, yes we do.
And in that conversation about the relationship, is it not true that you tell him that you want to be around him and you want him to be in your life? And
If he's sober, yes, I wanted him to go to rehab, which I have admitted to that, and I have looked into rehab for him. But he doesn't want to do that because he would have to work. Because they make him work a real job, and he owes over $100,000 in child support, and he's been working underneath the table. He still wants to do his under the table business. So that doesn't tell me he wants to change. Because I have made phone calls for him to go to a rehab and looked into it, like Freedom House.
thank you.
Ma'am, you may step in. Mr. Shepherd, you may call your next witness.
Judge, that's the only witnesses we'll have on this will arrest.
Mr. Malloy, do you know, do you have any witnesses you wish to call?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right, then, I'm gonna say that the evidence is closed. Mr. Shepherd, do you wish to go first, last?
I was going last.
Yes, okay. Mr. Malloy, take a minute, whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, my conversation with Mr. Ward and understanding that for purposes of this hearing that the public defender's office is just coming to these cases, that he was prior represented by other counsel before, so we don't have a lot of the information we probably could have had we been in the case from the outset. But that being said, Mr. Ward wanted me to understand that his understanding of a lot of this for him was just, in his own words, was a misunderstanding. That he wasn't aware initially some time ago about the no contact orders that caused him to be in violation of the orders. But when I addressed him about the March incident, when he was around her, I said, but you knew at that point that you weren't supposed to be around her. His comment to me or statement to me was, well, she is the one who's pursuing me. At least that's my understanding of it. He just wants the court to allow him the opportunity to do what he was sentenced to do on probation. One reason why, because his father is real sick and he wants to be at home to be with his dad, because I think his concern is, of course, his dad may pass away while he's in custody. He would even be willing to be subjected to house arrest at his dad's location, if the court would allow that. Again, he stated to me that it's as Ms. Daniels said, they both, and it seems like they both initiate contact with each other, which for her is not an issue because she's not the one under sentence. And I tried to explain to him that regardless of what she does, he's not supposed to do that. And I think he, at least from our conversation, I think he understands that now. He might not have in the past. Again, I can't speak to what things have already transpired because I did mention to him what Mr. Shepherd related to in the hearing back in May, where he stated he had been in contact with her. He just asked in the court to give him a chance to be on probation versus being in custody for the reasons I stated, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Malloy. Mr. Shepherd?
Judge, Mr. Ward, I mean, asking for a chance now is a little bit too late for that, Judge. He's had more chances than really anybody should get. He has shown over and over and over again that he's not going to abide by conditions you set on your bonds. He's not going to abide by conditions you set on your sentencing, that frankly, he doesn't care what you say from the bench. He's going to do what he wants to do. And the receiving end of that attitude is Miss Daniel. Miss Daniel she's tried with Mr. Ward. She clearly cares for Mr. Ward. They have 2 young children together. She wants Mr. Ward to be in those children's lives. She's made every effort to do that. And some of the decisions she's made have not been the best decisions. I think we can all agree to that. And Ms. Daniel will admit that. We've spoken numerous times about this. But Mr. Ward is the one here he's at fault. He's the one who has, on numerous occasions, has been violent with Ms. Daniel. He's been on meth. He's harmed Ms. Daniel. He's going to continue to do so. The 3 of the missing the appointments, it's clear he did. That's really the least of our issues. Violating no contact, he's already admitted on the record that he contacted her. He was living with Miss Daniel after he was sentenced on this. He was in a domestic violence issue where he hit Miss Daniel in the face over a Facebook post. I mean, that was the reason that he hit her in the face. That's not to take very much to provoke Mr. Ward. And even after he's arrested on that one, he's still contacting Miss Daniel from the jail, continuing to violate that. To violate the laws of Georgia, clearly he's got a new family violence charge. I mean, Judge, I don't know how much more Mr. Daniel can do to violate your sentence on this. I mean, he's done everything, and it's just a matter of time before Miss Daniel, or God forbid, one of those kids seriously gets hurt by Mr. Ward. So we're asking that you just revoke his entire balance on this to 213 days. If you'll consider it, revoke the balance on that consecutive case, the 20 SR 1771, where he's got another 12 months. Mr. Ward just needs to sit in jail for a while. That's Mr. Ward's the reason we have jails.
All right. A couple of procedural matters. In addition to the testimony that was heard today, I'm also including in my decision the testimony that Mr. Ward gave voluntarily and without any questioning by the court back on May 20th of 2021 on a hearing commencing at 9:59. It was the first time these matters had come into my courtroom. My question to Mr. Ward was whether or not he understood that he had the right to have an attorney represent him, and that he had that right because it was confusing about whether Mr. Brad Moody was still in the case or out, and whether the public defender's office was coming in. In a non-answer to my response to my question, he jumped into and began talking over me and talked about how he was in contact with the victim in this case and that they wanted to get back together. I pointed out to him that that would be a direct violation of my sentencing order on, I'll just name this one, 20 SR 1768, which states on line 16 that the defendant shall have no contact with Ashley Daniel except indirect contact and only for the children. His exact statement, according to the transcript which Mr. Shepherd requested and I approved my court reporter to create, says, and he's talking over me and it shows that he cuts me off and says, among other things, Ashley and I have been talking on the phone and we want to work through things and be together. That I immediately pointed out to him was potentially a violation of my order and an admission on the new charges, which have now been accused as 21 SR 0639, and are, of course, have been testified to here today, violation of a family violence order and battery under the Family Violence Act. The testimony today from the named victim is that that while they were in the car together, which of course would not be in direct contact, he did, as the primary aggressor, strike her and cause injury, And additionally, that would also be a violation of the Family Violence Protective Order, among all of the other allegations that fit. We're not here on that case to try guilt or innocence. I'm just deciding by preponderance of the evidence whether there's a sufficient amount of information for me to decide that he violated his current probation by committing those new offenses. And I find that there's more than sufficient for me to find by preponderance of the evidence that he has committed these new offenses. I'm also going to state on the record, Ms. Matthews, that 20 SR 1771 is not on the table today. It was not filed because at that time, Ms. Matthews was under my directions not to file those cases because I was not at that time certain I had the authority. I have confirmed now that I do. And Ms. Matthews, I'm going to ask you to please file a petition on 20 SR 1771 so that I can address that case at a later court date. Here is my decision. I'm actually going to do this slightly differently than normal. So y'all follow along. On 20 SR 1768, I am, well, hold on a second. Give me a second. Yeah, that'll work. All right, 20 SR 1768, I'm revoking the balance of his probation for violation of new charges and the technicals. So 20 SR 1768 has 213 days left, and I'm revoking the balance. When I send this out, if he signs it, great. If he doesn't sign it, write refused and keep moving. (1768) is officially closed. 19 TK 5827. That case is concurrent with 1768, and I'm modifying the terms of that sentence as follows. If he is to somehow secure release prior to that, on 19 TK 5827, I'm modifying this to absolutely no contact whatsoever with Ms. Daniel. Ashley Daniel. On 19 TK 5827. And my purpose of this is that if he somehow secures early release, all 12 months of this probation is still here and waiting for him.
On that case, Judge?
Yes. Because I want there to be a no contact and control if he is to secure release. On it, I'm just going to write 30 days to serve, return to probation, 0 tolerance. I don't think this case will see the light of day like this, but this is my backup plan to protect Ms. Daniel from Mr. Ward. You all see what I'm doing. I'm both revoking it and I'm modifying the cases that are still out there so that Ms. Daniels is protected no matter what happens next. I'm also making the same decision on the final case as before me today, which is
1287?
yes, 20 SR 1287. I'm making the same modifications. 30 days to serve in the Spalding County Jail. When he gets out, he is to report and test weekly for the remainder of the case. He's on 0 tolerance for the remainder of the case, and he's to have no contact with Ashley Daniel. Again, I'm of the firm belief that both of these cases will close without ever being used. But it is a secondary safety net for me to feel like Ms. Daniel is protected. I will also note for the record, just for context purposes, that this case has continually had to have bond revocation hearings, missed court dates, missed report dates. And I am just concerned that Mr. Ward honestly might not be a candidate for probation, but that's just context to acknowledge the difficult procedural history of this case, or these cases. We will have a final hearing on 1771, because I'm now concerned if, on this one, that it says no indirect contact is not on the table today, and I would like to address that, or whether or not there's a balance to be revoked, or what, I don't know, but we need to have that discussion. Because that case, of course, has 365 days left, because these cases are still pending. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to do this twice. That is my fault and no one else's. It's not the state's fault, it's not the defendant's fault, it's not Ms. Matthews' fault. She was following my directions. Ms. Shepherd, anything else?
Judge, just, kind of be thinking out loud here. Ms. Daniel has already missed 3 days of work for these hearings, and because they were rescheduled on that. For her to come back again on another one is going to be her employer is they have a point system on that.
Yes.
If we had a transcript on this from her testimony today,
I'll authorize that. Ms. Leach, please have this.
to use that, so she wouldn't have to return, I mean, it's going to be the same.
That sounds fine. By the time we get this filed and out, anyway, that should be filed. Will you need anything else?
The case number on the new charges, Judge, I didn't get that.
All right, the case, as I call this, the third case as far as the sentencing order goes, it's 20 SR 17.
No, Your Honor, you gave you said
19 at TK 5827.
the March case, Judge, you said it was 21 SR, I didn't catch that.
All right. And 21 SR 639. In fact, I see no reason why I can't go ahead and arraign him right now. I've got him here. I've got you here. I'd like to go ahead and arraign him. Okay, we're going to do just that. Mr. Ward, on 21 SR 639, this is officially your arraignment. You have not yet applied with the Public Defender's Office on this case, and so I'm arraigning you pro se on this one. However, you can get with them and see about having them represent you. I'm pleading you not guilty on one count of battery of the Family Violence Act and one count of violation of a criminal family protective order. Your arraignment date was scheduled for August 2nd, 2021. That will no longer be the case. Your arraignment date will be marked as today. I'm putting you down for a jury trial. I will pick that date here in a minute and send out a reset notice to you on that. All right, Mr. Ward, that is it. You may go back to your cell, and I'll send these paperwork out for you to sign. Okay. Did you need anything else from me?
Yes, Your Honor. When you sent it to Madison Trawick earlier to DUI, we forgot that you have to take your driver's license.
That's her ID card. She's welcome to just go turn that in. She can keep that one.
Okay. Additionally, we'd ask for a work permit so that she can get back and forth to the various medical issues she has. And this should be her first ever deal.
I don't have a clerk. And you're here.
I'm in.
You get which ones?
You should have.
All right, hold on, Holder. I locked Mr. Ward, so he quit unmuting himself. There we go. How about that? There we go. Sorry about that, Holder.
That's all right. Are y'all through with it?
Yes, he's done.
Y'all ready for Watson?
Yes, it should be, relatively quick. It's just a time served plea. So,
Alright, so, we'll go get Watson real quick and come back, and then we'll grab the females.
all right, and I'll be back on the, bench at 11:05. So as soon as y'all walk in, we'll knock out his plea and then, bring females.
Okay. Alright, we're on it again.
Thank you.
Watson. That was a obstruction and marijuana and all that they thought, and it looks like it's actually assigned to Judge Sams. So it's misdemeanor charges, but I think it was when he was arrested on the felony stuff that's holding him.
Got it.
And I guess they just kept it all up there. So Terrence, y'all represent Terrence. Do y'all have Watson on this misdemeanor at all?
Hello?
Just a second, Mr. Watson, hold on.
Okay.
The suspended license? I don't think y'all did.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Okay, I'll bring
So we
it.
can do that if we, as a time served, if we,
Yeah, Judge, he's been in, it looks like he's been in 520 something days.
all right.
So the file should be handed it to Terrence.
I do not have that.
Here it is.
Mr. Watson, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watson, you are here on 21 SR 0593. The solicitor's office, in this case, has charged you with 1 count of suspended license and 1 count of failure to maintain lane. You're here today because you wrote a letter to the solicitor's office asking for the opportunity to appear before me like this and do a time-served plea to close this case out so that you can focus on your felonies. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. But
Okay.
the suspended license, when was it issued?
The suspended license charge that we're talking about was issued on April 12th of 2019. So if you want to enter this plea, I will allow it. If you don't want to enter this plea, we'll put you down for a jury trial. What would you like to do on this suspended license charge?
Sir, I think the suspended license charge, I thought they had cleared it up because what it was, Upson County had charged me for a DUI and they suspended my license wrongfully. They suspended them and they reissued my.
Time out. Mr. Watson, I don't think you quite understood my question. Let me try my question again. You have 2 options right now. You can either enter this plea and close this case, or I can put you down for a jury trial. So I just need you to utter either plea or trial. Those are your 2 choices as far as this moment goes. Which of those would you like to do?
Do I have any more open cases, period?
Okay. You have Superior Court cases upstairs. This is the last case we show in the state court of Spalding County.
Okay, I'll go ahead and plea. I ain't worried.
All right. Mr. Watson, raise your right hand. Oh, no, I'm just going to place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right, state your full name for the court reporter.
Myron Kendra Watson.
And Mr. Watson, you're here today on this suspended license charge on 21 SR 0593. You were scheduled for arraignment earlier this week. And do you want to go forward with this plea and close this case without a trial?
Sir, yes, sir.
Do you want to go forward with this plea without an attorney?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have the right, number 1, to be presumed innocent. Number 2, to force the state to prove the guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. To cross-examine the state's witnesses. To subpoena your own witnesses and evidence to court. To testify or not testify, as well as the right not to incriminate yourself. Do you understand that you're giving up those rights, Mr. Watson?
Sir, yes, sir.
Are you entering this plea freely, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Sir, yes, sir.
Are you a United States citizen?
Sir, yes, sir.
And then, it's not a family violence case, no probation. Okay, all right. Here we go. All right, Mr. Watson, did you here in Spalding County? Did you here in Spalding County on April 12th of 2019 operate your motor vehicle while your license had been suspended by the Georgia Department of Driver Services? Or actually, if you want to do a no-load plea, I'd let you do that on this one if you qualify. A no-load plea where you don't admit guilt, you just ask me to let you just close this case with this plea without admitting guilt. Do you want to do that instead?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's fair. I'm going to grant you both of those. I don't think you're going to get any driving violations in the next little bit. Okay, Mr. Watson, I'm gonna grant your request for a NOLO. I'm gonna find that you qualify. The sentence of the court is as follows. As to count 1, suspended license, I'm granting your NOLO is 6 months to serve. Count 2, failure to maintain lane, I'm granting your NOLO is 6 months to serve. Your time is served in full, granting you 6 months. Your case is closed. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 12 months from today if you want to use your habeas corpus rights. That's where you sue Spalding County civilly upstairs in Superior Court to challenge your conviction. Do you understand that?
Sir, yes, sir.
Mr. Watson, later on today, you'll be pulled out of your cell. These 2 documents will be presented to you to sign. One is the sentencing sheet. Once you have signed it, they'll give you a copy. The other is your rights sheet that you and I have just reviewed. You'll sign that and initial each paragraph, and they'll get you a copy of that as well. And you'll have copies to keep for yourself. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Watson, your next item is up in Superior Court, but you are finished with the Spalding County State Court as far as everybody's concerned. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Watson. You may go back to your cell.
All right.
All right, so they're going to grab the female inmates now, and I'm gonna handle a couple of walk-ins. Do you all need anything else? All right, as soon as they show up, y'all let me know if you need anything from me.
Yes, sir.
All right, I need it. Ready? Yeah. All right, Ms. Sharp, if you'll please step forward. Oh, no, Elijah Sharp, sorry, I was looking at your mom. So you can come up with it. This is going to be simply a course correct. So, all right, you guys swap so that you're at the microphone. Ms. Matthews, Ms. Sharp, raise your right hands. Actually, all 3 of you raise your right hands. You all swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I do.
All right, say your full name to the court reporter.
Elijah Sharp.
Althea Sharp.
All right, and you are his
Mom.
mom. Okay, that was my guess. All right, Mr. Sharp, you are participating in our pretrial diversion program. Your probation officer has filed paperwork with me alleging that you're out of compliance with your pretrial diversion program. We're going to have this hearing, and then I'll let your mom say something here at the end, okay?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sharp, are you ready to go forward with your hearing?
Yes, sir.
Did you miss your report dates?
No, sir.
You didn't miss any report dates? Okay. Did you get behind on your fines and fees and not use community service work to get caught up?
Yes, sir. Fees.
Okay, your fees. All right. Ms. Matthews, he is denied missing his report dates. You're under oath, so if you'll please fill us in on what the report date issue is about.
Judge Thacker, he was sentenced to the pretrial diversion program back on May 16th. His first report date was April 30th. He missed it. An auto call went out rescheduling him for May 14th. He missed that one. He had a phone call on May 17th. We were not able to get in touch with him, so we sent a letter that advised him to report on May 28th. He missed that report date. That's when we set the court date for him to appear today. He did call on June 10th. We advised him to come in, and he did appear on June 11th to report since that court date has been filed.
Okay. Young man, do you still maintain that you've missed none of your report dates?
Yeah, I understand that. But can I say on May 28th, I had graduated recently high school.
Okay, lean into that mic.
I said May 28th, I recently graduated high school. I couldn't attend that day anyway.
Okay. Seems very quiet. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to find now that you started the contested hearing that you have changed to an admission on both of your items. I'm gonna mark here that you have admitted to the allegations. I'm gonna allow you to remain in the pretrial diversion program because I want to see you successfully complete it, okay? This is the first hearing we've had. Hopefully it'll be the last hearing we will have on this matter, okay?
Yes, sir.
This is a terminated upon completion case, and you're frankly not that far from being able to finish your case. All right, anything else you want me to know before I make my decision on your case?
I have a question. I know he was initially set this probation because he didn't pay for this speeding ticket that he had received the day after Christmas. Is that why we're here? Because if so, can we go ahead and pay for the fines?
Well, the main issue why he's here is that he's never reported to probation, so which he denied, but then after Ms. Matthews testified, he came back and said, now he understands. So, I mean, you can't participate in a pretrial diversion program without actually participating in the pretrial diversion program. And I don't think this is going to be an issue going forward, because I'm hearing him say that he's ready to commit to this thing. So, I'm going to have him report tomorrow to the probation office.
He does have a job, and he's planning on going to college. So this is like a hit, and we live way in Atlanta. So I thought it was basically because he didn't pay his ticket, and he was misunderstood. And I think the date that Miss Matthews gave was in April, but then she said the date started in May. So I'm a little confused on that part.
All right. Any other questions or things you want me to consider before I bring this case to a close?
Yes, and then they had brought it to me that I was just supposed to finish the JAG probation driving class, the A1 driving school, and I ended up completing it, and she told me that we would just talk about it here in court today, and then that was, I don't know, that's what it was supposed to be about anyway, just the JAG probation.
Have you completed the defensive driving course?
Yes, sir.
Well, who did you give the proof of completion to?
On our last day, I told Ms. Matthews, and they supposed to send a letter out, email. That's what they told me in the driver class. I can pull the email up.
No, that's right. Okay. Do you all have anything else you want me to know, consider, questions, anything else before I bring this to a close? Ms. Matthews, anything else before I bring this to a close?
No, sir.
All right. All right. I am going to place on the record that your failure to appear at your original report dates is unacceptable, that you had an obligation to report. However, I'm not removing you from the program, and I am anticipating you completing it successfully. So here we go. We're going to put you on a pathway to get this thing successfully completed. I'm sorry that you're going to have to come back down tomorrow, but the fact of the matter is that your reporting history is not acceptable to me, and I am going to have you report in person tomorrow. After that, whether or not you report in person or by phone is up to probation, and they will decide that based off of your level of effort and energy you're placing into this issue. So you hold the keys to that solution in your hand, and I would very much like to encourage you to use those keys, okay? Because they don't want to make you drop out of school, they don't want to make you lose your job, but you made certain promises to me that you would do certain things, and so far those things have not been completed. The good news is you're terminated upon completion. The moment you get your boxes checked, your case is closed. And I'd like to see you do that successfully. Okay, young man?
Yes, sir.
All right, so report in person tomorrow, 7/2/2021, and you can report at between 9 a.m. and noon or 1:30 and 6. I'm going to allow you to remain in the program. However, I am making you zero tolerance for the duration of your case. Because of the history and because it can be closed and because you're so close to closing, I'm going to put some serious back pressure on this case for you to close it with all of your efforts and energy. Do you understand what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
If you step out of line at all, Mr. Sharp, you miss another report date, you don't do what you're supposed to do, I'm going to issue a warrant first and I'm going to figure it out second. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you have the ability to close this case as best I can tell tomorrow. So I really want to see you do that because you're telling me you've completed your driving school and everything else. So yeah, let's get that done. Okay, do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
All right, get this case closed. Go see Miss Matthews go see Miss Matthews tomorrow. Get your case closed. Sign this here, the bailiffs will give you a copy. I'm allowing you to remain in the program. And I printed you an extra copy of your sentence agreement, or your pretrial diversion agreement, so that you have a copy of it. Okay? All right, step into the door. All right, Tabitha Tice. All right, Ms. Tice, Ms. Matthews, y'all both please raise your right hands. Both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
I do.
All right, this is a modification hearing. So you're not in trouble. You are simply asking me to improve the conditions of your probation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to pivot to Ms. Matthews first, which is where I always start with these, which is Ms. Matthews, if you will please tell me how she's done on probation.
Judge Thacker, she did have 4 missed appointments, but those were all in the year 2020. She has not missed any appointments this year. And currently, all of her fines and fees are paid, and she is current at this point. The only outstanding condition she has a no contact with an Holland on case number 20 SR 0552. And she has a no contact with the Griffin High School on case number 20 SR 0551. Both of these cases were originally sentenced as no early terminations. Right now, she has 84 days remaining.
Okay. So both cases are fully in compliance. All conditions have been met other than the passage of time.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. But we do have some named victims here with some stay away. Okay. Ms. Tice, anything you want me to know before I make my decision on the modification?
The victim in Griffin High, my daughter was in school. She in college now. So I don't have no complaint with neither one of them.
You don't need to have any contact with either of them? Perfect.
She was in high school. She in college now. It's her 3rd year in college.
All right. Well, then I'm going to walk the middle path on this, and I'm going to do this in a way where I think it's going to work for both of us. So instead of terminating your case early, I'm going to mark that your modification order is granted. I guess it's partially granted. I'm going to have you, does she need to sit down with you, Ms. Matthews, one more time before you part ways with her?
No, Judge, I don't, and I actually hand served her, so her signature is already on the form, or you could have her re-sign today. So she made her last payment that she needed yesterday, so we're good to go into non-report if that's your order today.
That's where I'm going. So non-report, effective immediately. We always like to try to reward folks that do a good job, and you've done a good job. So.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I see female inmates in the video there. If we could see who's, do you have anybody you want to talk to first? I saw movement up there.
And, well, let's see, the fastest one, let's see, No, it doesn't matter, Judge, I guess I'll just, whoever's, well, actually,
Me, just ask Holder or whoever's up there.
probably Jessica Love, the sheriff's is. So, Michelle Cook and Jessica Love, and then I'll do Cecilia Brooks.
You all radio Michelle Cook. All right, back on record with Ms. Tice. I have signed both of your petitions. They now say non-report effective immediately. I wrote immediately while I was talking to Mr. Malloy. I'm not entirely certain I spelled it correctly, but it'll work. So,
Thank you, sir.
all right, you've already signed these, so if you'll go stand over there by the door, the bailiff's make a copy, give you one each, and you are good to go. Thank you for doing such a great job. All right, that was Ms. Tias. She was a mod and granted. next case I show is, looks like Sarah Knott. Ms. Knott, come on up. I missed this
Judge, I believe she was the phone call.
one. I'm here. All right. Ms. Knott, Ms. Knott, where do you live? Where's your home?
In Illinois.
Oh, okay. So we don't normally do these unless we have to over the phone because I can't see you and you can't see me. And so, do you have the ability to get onto the app so that we can see each other? Because Illinois would be a case I'd be willing to hear virtually.
My computer is not turning on this morning. I'm not sure why.
Okay, let's just have the hearing then. Ms. Matthews, Ms. Knott, we're just gonna do what we can here. But I'm gonna place both of you under oath. You ready? Ms. Knott and Ms. Matthews, do you both solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
I do.
All right. Ms. Knott is out of state. All right, so Ms. Knott, your case is 20 SR 1352. You're here today because your probation officers filed paperwork with me alleging that you were out of compliance with your probation. Do you understand what you're doing?
Yes, sir.
That's awful. Okay. You got a lot of background noise, Ms. Knott. If you can find a quiet place, I would be very grateful.
I'm sorry, my son's in the swing. Let me step outside.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Hi there, I'm ready. I'm sorry.
All right. Ms. Knott, did you miss some report dates with your probation officer?
Yes, I did.
Did you get behind on your fines and fees and not turn in the community service work that was ordered?
I've done a few papers for the community service. I've been having problems with internet and such. The fines, I've put 250, I think it was last month, and I was planning on putting another 250 when I get paid. But unfortunately, my work has cut my hours. I only got 4 hours last week or the week before last, and got no hours this past week. So I just went to a job interview yesterday for a different job because the job that I currently have is basically forcing me to quit because they're not scheduling me any hours at all. And I don't even have the money to support myself right now.
Okay, well, don't forget, we're never a cash-only court, Ms. Knott. There's always other options in this court other than cash. So I'm not hearing you tell me that you're exploring those options, and so I'm telling you that you need to explore those options other than cash.
Okay.
All right, so anything else you want me to know before I make my decision on your case?
That I am trying. I would like to be able to pay it off in cash because I know it'll be quicker. But I am trying to get that done. I don't have it right now.
Okay. All right, well, here's what we're going to do. This is our second hearing, and so there's not going to be any more hearings. There's either going to be just get it done, or we're going to have a warrant. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So here we go. I'm going to put that you've admitted all the violations. I'm going to put that you are an appropriate virtual hearing because you were out of state, and so I will allow that. I'm going to have you report weekly until your case is closed. I'm going to place you on zero tolerance until your case is closed. You are a terminate upon completion case, which means that you hold your termination in your hand. You are to report by phone on Tuesday, July 6th, 2021, between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. by phone. Do you understand zero tolerance, Ms. Knott, means that if you step out of line in any direction between now and the end of your case, I'll issue a warrant first and figure it out second.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Knott, I'm sorry for the difficulties you are having, but we've already done this once, and I'm not willing to do it a third time. It's time for you to dig in, get your case on track, or not. I hope you'll choose the first pathway. Okay, Ms. Knott?
Yes.
Ms. Knott, do you have the ability to scan and email documents?
I unfortunately do not.
Okay, well, you're gonna need to figure that out, because I've gotta get your signature on these documents. So you might have to go to the local Office Max or Office Depot. I don't know if that's up to you, but we'll have to figure that out. All right, Ms. Matthews, do you need anything else in this case before I move on to the next?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, Ms. Knott.
Thank you.
Gavin Nicholson?
Participant has left the meeting.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nicholson, where do you live, Mr. Nicholson?
I have recently moved back into Georgia and Conyers.
All right. Is there a particular reason, COVID quarantine or something else, that has caused you to report virtually this morning?
No, Your Honor. I asked the office in the Spalding County Sheriff's Department, and I asked her if I needed to report in person, and she said that I do have the option to report online. So,
Yes, and that is an accurate statement. You need to know we are transitioning out of that for probation hearings. I'm just deeply troubled by the folks that don't report to their probation officer and then report virtually to this courtroom. It doesn't feel right to me, unless they're out of state or have some other very specific reason to do it. So I'm going to
Judge
allow you to.
Thacker,
Yes, ma'am.
he was actually advised on the 28th of June to appear in person, specifically by my office.
Oh, well, good. Well, then we're, as usual, Ms. Matthews, on the same page. All right, Mr. Nicholson, here's what we're going to do. I am resetting your case to next Thursday. So today's the 1st. So Mr. Gavin Nicholson, I will see you in person on Thursday, July 8th. Yes, July 8th, 2021 at 9 a.m. so that you and I can have some face-to-face time on your case. I'm going to have you report tomorrow, Mr. Nicholson, to your probation officer, and to have you all have a discussion to see about getting this case back on track. I'm making a note on the reset notice here, and on the, Mr. Nicholson, I'm making a note on the petition here that I'm resetting this to 7/8/2021. And Ms. Matthews, you do not need to renotice him because I am notifying him in open court right now on the record of his court date. And failure to appear will be a warrant. So notified in court on 7/1/2021, and I'm going to put at 11:41 a.m. Okay. Mr. Nicholson, do you understand what I've done on your case here?
yes, Your Honor.
And again, nothing personal. I just don't think it's fair that you get to miss your report date and then get to report virtually to court unless you have a good reason or prior approval from the probation office. All right, report in person tomorrow between 9 a.m. and noon, or 1:30 and 6 to your probation officer here in person. Have a conversation with them. There's a very slight chance you may be able to resolve these issues and get your case back on track. I can always be an optimist. Anything else from you, Mr. Nicholson, before you and I part ways?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to stress to you that while I was out of state, I was living with my brother's dad because he's my half brother, and I worked with him doing flooring, and I wasn't making enough money to do what I needed to do, and I realized that shortly after I got into an argument with him and parted ways, I ended up getting basically rescued by my aunt. She said that she could get me back on track with my case and get me to and from probation and community service. Also, I have a job, a steady job, making about $1,000 a week now, and so I plan on getting everything settled. And also, my DUI classes will shortly be finished. I can start them as soon as possible. I just recently moved here back to Georgia to get this settled, and I would say within about a week or two, I should have the DUI classes done, starting community service. My fines should be up to date, and probation fees as well. Everything should be caught up within the next week or two. I have just gotten my first paycheck Friday, and then I will get another one this in the next 2 days on Friday. So I will have 2 checks waiting to be used for you guys.
Okay, thank you for that update. All right, report tomorrow to probation in person. Thank you, Mr. Nicholson.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep trucking. That's Mr. Nicholson. He is reset in person. All right. Let's start. I got a couple of walk-ins and one virtual walk-in. Let's see who this person is. I have a Timothy Allen. Timothy Allen, unmute yourself, and then I'll start working through you guys. All right, last chance, Timothy Allen. Before I go on to the next. He is unlocked. He is unmuted. He has 3 cases. All right, I found his cases. Let's just notate for the record here. Timothy Allen has 3 bench warrants pending with me. His cases are 20 SR 2003, 21 SR 0377, and 21 SR 0484. That is Allen, Allen, Timothy, Timothy. I believe his middle name is David. I have multiple Timothy Allens, but he's the only one with something actively pending. And that's it. So, all right. Mr. Allen is welcome to walk in on some other date. And I'll certainly be happy to address his cases. Yeah. Mr. Allen, I see you frantically waiting, but I cannot hear you, and I have no idea what's going on with your screen there. So, Mr. Allen, if you want to address this case with me, I'm just going to need you to walk in. So, get with your attorneys. You're represented by the Public Defender's Office. They will tell you when you need to walk into this courtroom to address your cases. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs up. All right, I'm letting you go, Mr. Allen. Reach out to the Jukes Law Firm. Schedule time to walk in on your cases. All right, I've kicked him out. All right, that's my folks here. Let's work our way through our walk-ins out there. Let's see, it looks like I have maybe a Karen Howard. Is that you? Yes. Come on, Ms. Howard, let's find you and get you, figure out what's going on with your case. All right, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, take your hand down. State your full name for the court reporter.
Karen Denise Howard.
Looks to me like you may have missed the court date on your ticket.
No, it was, I rescheduled it. It was officially for May and I got it rescheduled for today.
You actually rescheduled it for tomorrow.
Oh,
But you're here now. What are you hoping to do with your case?
hopefully, I just don't want my license suspended or points added on to my license. I took the defensive driving class as well.
All right, so this is Karen Howard, 21 TK 1129. Mr. Shepherd, nice, really nicely. Would you take my last ticket and see what you think? You can go see. Mr. Shepherd will talk to you in just a minute.
Oh.
Is your flight on her?
No, she's okay. She's a day early.
Oh, okay.
So I had compassion for her because, well, she was early. So,
earlier
she's not in trouble. There's no bench warrant. She's just mistakenly here a day early. And I was trying to see, if nothing else, if we could just save her a trip back tomorrow.
Probably can.
So, okay, you're good to go. Mr. Shepherd will talk. Mr. Shepherd is a prosecutor, so he's in charge of making the decisions as to what the charges look like. So, perfect. All right, what's your name?
Jamal Rowe.
All right, I can have you. Yeah, we have inmates, so.
I'm sorry.
Yes, that's great. You're not in trouble. It's not your fault. Just go through those double doors and I'll meet you.
Yeah, big hallway.
Yeah, you're not in trouble at all. All right, come on up, Mr. Rawls. You said Jamal is your first name?
Yes, sir.
What do you have?
Insurance ticket, no insurance.
And you said it's here with me?
It was rescheduled due to COVID, a few months back to this day.
Do you have an ID or? Oh, you have a ticket.
I'm thinking city court.
I think it's city court.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah, it's totally city court.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not even gonna vouch for you because you were late. So, but, you are welcome to tell them that you walked into my court at 11 a.m. and that you've been in my court for 50 minutes. If your time to report was at 11 a.m., then you're good to go. If your time to report was any other time, then that's on you. So you're gonna walk out the front door of the courthouse. You're gonna take a left. You're gonna go to the opposite end of the block. There's a door there right on the corner, glass doors. Go in there, and that's the city of Griffin. Tell them that you're in Judge Stacker's courtroom. We'll give you one of my cards. You arrived at 11, and that you stayed with me until 11:50 when we figured out you weren't me. Okay? I can offer you that. All right, so he's not mine. Somebody named Thomas? Come on, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Mueller, what can I do for you?
I'm just waiting on Mr. Shepherd.
Okay, he just stepped out with a speeding ticket. He'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm finished.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You're Mr. Thomas. What's your first name?
Leander, L-E-N-D-E-R.
Okay. Spell your middle name for me.
L-A-W-R-A-N-C. They have it spelled wrong on my license, I know.
How is it spelled on your license?
I think I got it L-E-R-R, something like that.
It's just an odd spelling. It's spelled Larrnce.
Yeah, that's wrong. Mine is L-A-W. But I don't really use it, so I don't really tell me.
Okay. Okay. Why'd you miss court?
Actually, I didn't know I had a court date, and I got a letter in the mail. And as soon as I got a letter in the mail, I shoot to address the situation.
All right, this case is 21 SR 0198. Last name is Thomas.
Excuse me, Your Honor, can I ask you when was the court date? Actually, I don't even know.
It's April 20.
April 28th?
April 14th of 2021 at 1:30 p.m. All right, Leander.
Can I share a paper I got as to why I have came here today?
Say it again?
Can I share a paper I got from in the mail of a new court date? That's why I'm here today.
For today?
Yeah. I got it back here.
Sure. You're saying you have a piece of paper
Yeah.
telling you to come see me today? I'm very curious about that.
I don't know what I'm saying to the right place or not.
Could be an execution.
Yeah, I went over there. The other court over there, and they sent me over here. Let me go over here.
Yeah, that's not me.
That's not you?
You're telling me the Griffin Municipal Court sent you over here?
Yeah, I went in there. I was in a courtroom on the other building on this side of the building, and they said no. I know I paid the ticket already and stuff like that, and they tell me no, you good to go and go over here and check over here.
Yeah, they're sending you to me because you have a warrant out under my signature. This is a municipal court case that you're saying you paid that did have a court date of today. And it was municipal court case T007 54393. So I'm giving that back to you. That's between you and the municipal court. Okay. Mr. Thomas, what do you want to, what's your goal today with this case?
Your Honor, can you like enlighten me? It's been a minute. I mean, I have some type of recollection.
Okay, hold on. Not moving. Do you guys need me?
No, Judge, you just.
Okay, just since they.
No, we're good. I gotta write it, please, so, yeah.
Okay. You are charged, Mr. Thomas, with 1 count of DUI, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce, 1 count of obstruction of a law enforcement officer, 1 count of speeding 57 and a 35, 1 count of failure to exercise due care, 1 count of possession of a fraudulent license, 1 count of improper display of a license.
Am I able to speak, sir?
You can.
Now that you said what you're saying, I kind of remember that day I explained to on 636 North Pine Hill Road. Yeah, I got injured from my job. And I headed Kroger's to get something from Kroger's, and they had a speed trap. Yeah, where I knew I was having there, and the speeding, I would admit to that. I was a little over. I'm not gonna lie about that. I did admit to the officer. Those other situation came from when I was trying to explain to the head officer at that point in time about my leg and whatever. He told me to come out of the car, and this other young guy just came and grabbed my door and snatched me and put me on the ground, and that's where I got a lot of charges from. So I just trying to get everything, solve everything. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I know I got stopped originally because of a speeding, and then when he tried to get me in the car, I was explaining to him about my knee, and the other officers came and pulled me out, and
I'm gonna slow you down here. I gotta think about this for a minute. I'm gonna have you come have a seat in the jury box while I think about my options here. So just grab a seat. Let me think about it. Over here at the jury box, please.
All right.
Here's, oops. Should play that first one.
And so one last thing, and I paid the obstruction and stuff like that for the license and stuff. I went already. I paid the ticket. I paid that.
I just don't know.
Your Honor, can I ask something?
I just need you to fill that out. Can you just fill that out for me, please?
All right.
Okay. All I need from you right now. I'll have somebody else. What's your name?
He's the one that's,
He's doing probation.
Service.
All right, Mark. All right, let's go on record. This is Leander Thomas, case 21 SR 0198. Despite all my inclinations to the contrary, I'm going to be lifting Mr. Thomas's warrant. I hope I will not regret this decision. I have pled him not guilty. I have arraigned him on the 7 counts that I've read off of the record. I printed a copy of his accusation. If you will give that to him, please. Mr. Thomas, you have the right to have representation, and the information for the Public Defender's Office is on your document at the bottom. Do you see it down there? The address and telephone number for the Public Defender's Office? Oh, you didn't initial any of this. Okay, you need to initial this. Actually, I don't care if your copy's initialed. He just needs to initial the copy.
Initial for this one.
Okay. You now have your copy with your assigned court dates. Is that correct, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have lifted your warrant and I've signed the warrant lift. So, I strongly suggest that you go either prepare to represent yourself or go, fill out an application with the Public Defender's Office ASAP, okay? All right, thank you, Mr. Thomas. You're free to go. Your case is back on track. Pledge not guilty and you're set for a jury trial. Thank you.
And my next court date is September 14th, is that right?
That's your next court date.
What the public defender what to speak for? I can't like resolve this today because to be honest with you, I it's been a while.
Your two options, Mr. Thomas. I've been super kind, but you're at the end of me. You ready? I have every right in the world to take you into custody right now, to lock you up, and to see you on September 14th from the Spalding County Jail. You need to know every alarm bell in my head is screaming at me that I'm making the wrong decision in lifting your warrant. Every alarm bell. You have a very serious case with multiple serious charges, and I am trying desperately to politely get you out the door before I change my mind. So you can argue with me about how you deserve to resolve your case today, or you can make the very wise decision, Mr. Thomas, take that paperwork I have handed you and quietly walk out that door. What do you want to do? It's fine. If you want me to take you into custody, I'll be happy to have you sit over here in the jury box. But I've been very politely saying, Mr. Thomas, stop. Mr. Thomas, stop. You keep jumping up like this is your courtroom, and I keep having to shush you. You've missed your court date on a really serious case, and I would absolutely be taking you into custody right now, but I've got a million other things to do, and frankly, I don't want to do the paperwork to take you into custody. And that is a terrible reason to let you go. So, like, if you want to talk me out of it, keep going. Or, quietly, go out the door, go to the Public Defender's Office, fill out an application, hire your own attorney, and come try your case in September. What do you want to do? Quietly go out the door. Great call, Mr. Thomas. Great call. I will see you in September. All right. Thank you. Ms. Howard, you may come on up. Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, Ms. Howard, you are a day early, so you're not in trouble at all, and we wanted to see if we could resolve your case today on your speeding ticket. Okay? Ms. Howard, I'm gonna start here. I'm holding up this self-represented plea rights waiver.
Mhm.
And it appears to have your initials next to each of these paragraphs. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And now here on the back, are those your initials?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign this document after having enough time to review everything on it?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign this document because you understand everything that is on it?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Howard, you are charged with one count of speeding, 56 and a 25. Your case is 21 TK 1129. Again, you're set for arraignment tomorrow, but today we're trying to give you the courtesy of resolving your case today. Is that what you would like to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you on this case?
Yes, sir.
And you saw that on the right sheet here.
Yes, sir.
And you're here today without an attorney. Do you want to go forward with this plea without an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear me say that you have the right to a jury trial on your case?
Yes, sir.
And by entering this plea, there will be no trial and your case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Miss Howard, you're 21 years of age or older, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you used a NOLO in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
All right, then, and you're asking me to accept a NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County on March 15th of 2021 and resulted in this charge of speeding 56 and a 25. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to find that your request for a NOLO is proper and I'm going to grant it. I'm going to find that you're freely and voluntarily waiving your rights. I have reviewed the recommendation that you have negotiated with the solicitor's office, and I wanted to thank Mr. Shepard. I know he's got a million things on his plate, but I want to thank Mr. Shepard for stopping to address this case today. I'm going to follow the recommendation.
Okay.
Ms. Howard, do you have any questions for me?
When I make the payments, do I have to report here, or can I do it like online or something?
So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have you go report to probation, because this is going to be a terminated upon completion case.
Okay.
And probation will give you those directions.
Okay.
Ms. Matthews, when would you like me to have Ms. Howard report? I figured tomorrow's full, but you tell me.
We can accommodate tomorrow, Judge, or any day next week except for Monday. If you were to choose a non-report date, if we could give a specific time, just so I can make sure staff was available.
All right, I'll do Tuesday at 11 then. Is Tuesday 11 work?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to mark on here that she's to report in person on Tuesday, 7/6/2021 at 11 a.m. sharp. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Matthews. All right, Ms. Howard, are you ready for me to sentence on this matter?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions I can answer for you so far?
No, sir.
Ms. Howard, on 21 TK 1129, count 1, speeding, 56 and a 25, I'm going to grant your NOLO request. It's 12 months probation, a fine of $740 to $50. You may work off all of your fine with community service work. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that there'll be a $45 per month supervision fee.
Yes, sir.
Your case will close and terminate the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. And once you have met in person with probation on the 6th, I will allow your case to go to I'll allow your case to go to then report status, as long as you're in compliance. All right, so do you have any questions for me about what's about to happen next?
Do I do community service and pay the fine? How does that work?
You can do either or both, and probation will walk you through how that works.
Okay.
So you can pay it all up, you can work it all up, you can divide and conquer, whatever works for you, okay? All right, I just need you to sign down here where it says defendant, and then I'm going to give you, she gets the yellow copy of the probation acknowledgement form, right, Ms. Matthews?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is hers, and as soon as she signs it, pull the back off here. And she gets the yellow copy of that. All right, I have Ms. Howard's, and you don't need, Ms. Matthews, the right sheet, that goes down to the clerk's office. You just need the Senate sheet, copy of the ticket, and a copy of, and the sentencing sheet, probation acknowledgement form, and a copy of the ticket. Is that correct?
No copy of the ticket, Judge.
Even better. She's a walk-in, so we don't get too many of these on Thursdays. I always have to stop and think through the way we do it. Yeah, you can pull that loose, Ms. Pat. I just need the white one at the top, and she can have the yellow one.
All right.
Perfect. That is now ready to go to probation. And I'll take the extras. Okay. Enrique, report, reporting person, oh, this is.
So do I need to see her today before I leave, or?
No, you would normally, but today's not a day we would have somebody here. And that's part of what you're seeing me do is figure out how to get you reporting. And the short answer is you'll report Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And that's yours as well.
Okay.
All right,
All right,
everything I need. Thank you very much. All right, I'm leaving this. All right, I am gonna, let me just put on the record that I'm closing the feed because we need this system for conferences and we're almost done anyway. So, all right, feed's closed. To try to